MTA Queensland is an industry association advisor as part of the Digital Champion project. I'm Lisa Duganzik, the Marketing Communications Manager for MTA Queensland, and will present to you today's topic, how to keep your Zoom chats private and secure. Zoom is a great video chat platform, but a few simple steps also make it a safe one. Zoom has become the default video chat platform for millions. Its simple, accessible interface makes keeping in touch with family, friends, and co-workers easy. However, many have found Zoom's default privacy and security features lacking. So if you're using Zoom, here's how to stay safe and protected. First, keep in mind that Zoom's security is fine for most people. If your meetings are more sensitive though, you should know that the platform's claims of end-to-end encryption don't really hold up, and some critics have found the encryption does lack in some ways. The good news is that there are plenty of settings you can tweak to make Zoom a safer place for you and everyone else online. So let's look at how we can stop Zoom bombers. Every Zoom meeting is based around a 9-digit meeting ID. If that ID becomes public somehow, unwanted visitors can pop into your chats and disrupt them, and that's obviously a problem. You've got a few ways to guard against this. First and most obviously, be careful who you share the meeting ID with. For example, it's not a good idea to post it on Facebook. Also, bear in mind that contacts you've added in Zoom will be able to see your personal meeting ID and will know how to find any meetings you launch with it. When you launch or schedule a meeting, the options panel lets you generate a random ID for the meeting rather than using your personal one. This idea is useful, but if you've got an office team who always meet with the same ID, it can be inconvenient. To absolutely lock down a meeting, make sure participants need a password to access it. Again, this can be found in the options pane when you create or schedule a meeting. Of course, be careful how you share the password and who you share it with. Finally, if you look under the advanced options for hosting meetings, you'll see an enable waiting room option. People are put on hold here before you give them specific approval to join, and it can help to block out anyone you weren't expecting. All these options can be set on a meeting-by-meeting basis or configured as defaults through your Zoom settings. Even with those precautions in place, you're still not completely protected against unwanted guests. As a host, you've got a few handy options for limiting what other users can do. It's also timely to mention that on a mobile device, some of the features are enabled differently and may not be available using the Zoom app. For starters, you can restrict screen sharing. If you go to your Zoom settings and click in Meeting Basic, you'll see a screen sharing option to stop anyone except you from sharing the desktops or apps on their computer. You can still grant screen sharing privileges to specific users in a later meeting if you need to. The same option is available after you've launched a meeting on Windows or Mac. Click the small arrow next to the screen share option, then advanced sharing options, and you can ensure that only you are sharing from your computer or phone. Another step you can take is to lock a meeting. Once you're sure everyone who is needed to join the meeting has actually joined, you can go to the desktop app and click Manage Participants, then More, and then Lock Meeting. Just make doubly sure that you weren't expecting someone who hasn't arrived yet, as they won't be able to get in. Add all of these measures up together and you can be very confident that your next Zoom meeting isn't about to be interrupted. Be careful not to get complacent though, particularly when it comes to limiting the exposure of the meeting IDs and the passwords that you're using for your video calls. Okay, so let's look at what we can do further to stay private. As a host or participant who is screen sharing, remember to be aware of everything others can see on your screen. The open tabs across the top of the screen and notifications should be closed and disabled. Also remember that hosts can record video and audio from meetings in full, as well as keep a record of public chats. So if you save the chat log, it will also include private chats you've been involved in. So be very careful about sharing that file. Don't just post it in the group chat for everyone to read. If a host chooses to enable this setting, Zoom will notify you and give you a chance to opt out. There's not a lot you can do about these features, which are designed to make it easier to create logs for people to look back on later, but it's worth knowing about them. A simple rule of thumb: if there's a communication you don't want anyone else to know about, keep it off Zoom. Let's have a look at some of the different alternatives to Zoom as well. Google Duo has recently updated the maximum video chat group size from 8 to 12. It's available on mobile devices and the web, and video and audio calls are end-to-end encrypted. For those of you with colleagues, family and friends who are all on Apple devices, FaceTime is an option. Group video chats of up to 32 people are supported. End-to-end encryption is turned on by default, and the apps are simple to use across Apple devices. The downside is, of course, that no one on Windows or Android can join. WebEx from Cisco is another group video calling tool that supports end-to-end encryption. It's a little more business focused, but you do get support for video calls of up to 100 people and a lot of the same features as Zoom. The free tier is quite generous at the moment, though we'll have to wait to see if it remains so after the current global pandemic has passed. Like WebEx, GoToMeeting has been in the virtual meeting business a long time and includes end-to-end encryption as standard. Unlike WebEx, there are no free plans, so you or your company will have to pay a monthly subscription, but there is a 14-day free trial. So if you can live without full end-to-end encryption, so you're essentially putting your trust in the software developer not to gather any more data than they need to, then programs such as Skype for up to 50 people on a video call, or Slack for up to 15 people on a video call with a paid plan, and Facebook Messenger for up to 50 people on a video call are all options as well. I hope you have found some useful information in today's presentation. Thank you.